And welcome back, everybody. It's good to see everybody the past couple of days. We'll go over some things here real quick that has to do with your driver records. First, let me just give you a quick overview. You may not fully understand why I keep the driver records and how important they are. And in a nutshell, should something go wrong, that you have an accident where a child is injured or Lord forbid worse, the first thing the investigators are going to do is come and ask me for your driver records. And they're going to have to show that you've had your physical. They're going to have to show that you've had your update training. They're going to have to show that you've been properly trained to be a bus driver and that you've maintained that training over the course of your tenure as a bus driver. Now, why is that important? As long as we've dotted all of our I's and crossed all of our T's in a court of law, that will help to reduce your liability. Now, there are instances, and I didn't have it put on the PowerPoint, North Carolina driver. She fell asleep while hauling students. Had 15 or 20 kids on the bus. Wanton endangerment, child endangerment charges for every child on the bus because she fell asleep. Drowsy driving. When come to find out that she had a second job, she wasn't getting her rest, which is part of our training. Okay, so those things are very important. Now, having said that about your driver records, Marshall did a great job helping me out this summer, putting out notices to check your physicals. Everybody's done a really good job. We've got a couple that's close here before school starts. I've contacted you about that. Look at your physicals today and see how close they are. If you're within 30 days, you need to go ahead and schedule the appointment. We're still going to have our nurse that's going to be coming up to school. We're going to try 2 days a month instead of once a week because she was just getting one appointment and it wasn't really worth her coming up just to do one. So we're going to try 2 days per month to start. We need to add, we're going to add. She will be there Monday, August the 6th. For anybody that needs an appointment, I've already got 2, but we've still got like 5 or 6 appointments that's going to be available for August the 6th. So if you're close, I encourage you to go ahead, contact me today, and I'll put your name down and load you up for that appointment. Now, at the bus garage, just 1 second. Bus garage is not the only place that you can go get your physical. Okay, we have an agreement with Dog Patch now. If you didn't know, you can go to Dog Patch and have the physical done and it won't cost you anything. They've agreed to do it just like we do there at the garage. You walk up, you tell them you're at the Laurel County Bus Garage, you need to get your physical, and she'll do that. You don't have to exchange any money. They email me a copy of your physical so I can get you loaded into the database and keep you current. You can still go to your own personal physician like you always have, and that's not a problem. The difference is we will reimburse you $69 or the cost of the physical, whichever is the greatest. Okay, so if your personal physician charges you $80 to do your physical, you're going to get $69 of it back. Plus, you're going to be taxed for that. So you're going to get a little less than $69 after Uncle Sam gets his piece of the pie. So be sure to keep an eye on your physical dates. Try not to get it close. They've been doing pretty good. Usually I can get those in the computer system. Frankfurt updates them in their system, usually within 48 to 72 hours. But it has went beyond that. Now, what does that mean? Yeah, we've got it maybe on paper, but it's not in Frankfurt, and if state police pull you up or pull you over and they pull your driving record up, which is all computerized now, they're going to say, you're operating a motor vehicle, commercial motor vehicle, without a DOT physical, current DOT physical. Doesn't matter what I'm showing, okay? Because until it goes in the system with Frankfurt, it's not there. So try to give me some time, okay? Try to not make it go as close as possible. No, I know sometimes circumstances require, something happens, we just can't get there, and we just don't. but try to give me as much time as possible to do that. Also, on your driver's license, I've had probably the most common question I've had all summer long is, I got this sheet of paper that says I have to do something about self-certification. You're going to get that 60 days prior to your license expiring. When you renew your driver's license, you have to have a new self-certification. And I can do that. It takes me about 3 minutes on the computer to put a self-certification in for you. Again, takes them anywhere from 48 to 72 hours to process it, because they will not let you renew your license until you have that self-certification involved. Now, you're welcome to do it on your own, but I have confirmation that they send me back, and I can send you a text that says, okay, you can get your license renewed now. Now, let me give you another little note on this. I have been setting up everybody to drive. You have 3 choices. Actually, I think there's 4 in there, Marshall. 4 choices on that sheet. Choose the top block. Okay, it's inter and intra-state. That means you can drive inside the state of Kentucky. You can drive outside the state of Kentucky. If you don't choose that, then you're limiting yourself to taking field trips to Gatlinburg, so to speak. You have to have that marked on there. And that's what I mark for everybody, okay, so that you can drive in and out. And it doesn't matter if you don't go out of the state of Kentucky, you're still good to go if you do go out of the state of Kentucky. Okay? Linda, what's your last question?
You said Monday the 6th, but Tuesday I think is the 6th.
Monday, the day after Sunday, the nurse is going to be there, so. And it may be Tuesday the 6th, but if you, let me put it to you like this. My problem, you're going to be my benzo skinner. Okay. She's going to be here next week, one day before Wednesday, but after Sunday. If you need a physical, you contact me, and I'll get you the correct date.
We might be able to know somebody to find out.
Now, let me, yeah, John, text her and ask her what day she's in. How many in here, and I know this is really popular, this is something else I want to cover with everybody, and I'm not going to single you out, I just want to kind of get an idea, because this could be real important for me as well as you. How many in this room is using CBD oil right now, in some form or fashion? Got one, okay. 2. CBD oil, when you do your urine test, your random drug test, has been shown to come up as cannabis, because there is no regulation of CBD oil through the FDA to know how much you're actually getting. And what that does is it will throw a positive on your drug test. If you're using CBD oil and you go for a random drug test and it shows positive, your driving days are done. That's as plain as simple as that. Until they are able to determine a test that shows you're using CBD oil, or doctors prescribe it because it is now FDA regulated, to where you can show that, yes, I'm on CBD, and have that brought before the reviewer so that it can be challenged through the system, there's no protection for you.
Do you take that stuff or rub it on?
I do not. I do not use it in any form or fashion. It has not been tested, it's not been regulated through the FDA to know, number one, the strengths. Because I don't know much about it, I've tried to educate myself a little bit, but there are different and varying amounts of whatever it is that's in CBD oil. Some of it's stronger, some of it's not as strong, you get different concentrations. They don't know if it is because of the certain type that is being used, that it's a higher concentration, or if it's prolonged use and it builds up in the system and kicks out, okay? So I'm just trying to make you aware on our end for what it means for us as bus drivers and commercial license like this.
He said if you go
unless it's prescribed, okay? And this is how the federal law says it. Unless it's something prescribed, and doctors do not prescribe things that are not FDA approved.
That's right.
Okay? And that's what we have, and all I'm saying is, I'm not defending, and I'm not while your bus is being fixed. We get it, we didn't want to do it either. But how else are we gonna fix your bus? If you don't take a spare for a day, maybe two. It's just part of the process. And our fleet's getting better. You'll notice our fleet's getting newer, and we're gonna continue to improve that.
Actually, this year probably gonna be a little different. They may get a new bus when they bring it in. Never
Right.
know.
But the care and maintenance, let's just continue, check all the functions on the bus, check all them switches. Make sure they're functioning, check your seats. Go back and make a note. When you receive your buses this year, there is not gonna be one cut, not gonna be one tear in a seat. And if you do your student management properly, and you do your seating charts like you're supposed to, and you make those children adhere to those seating charts, and you start getting a seat back that looks like you've got a Bengal tiger sitting there, sliced up, then you know how to get that fixed. We can go through the proper channels through the discipline, as Todd talked about, and Marshall will talk about, to get that behavior stopped. And usually when you send the parents a bill for about $134, that pretty much helps that as well. Tires, now we don't expect you to carry a tire gauge with you, but look at your tires. Mark and them's gonna make sure that you've got, do we remember, what's the minimum tread on the front? That didn't sound like a confident 430. That's correct. What about on the rear? We don't run them that close. You're never gonna have a tire that is that close, because we pull them before then. So you're gonna be looking for nails, knots, something out of the ordinary. Maybe you hit a curve the other day and you bent your wheel. That's the kind of things you're gonna be looking for. You're not gonna have to get Abraham Lincoln out, turn him upside down and start checking your tread, because we don't run them that close. You be looking for other things that's gonna be a danger, cause you a blowout. Low tires, that's another thing. Trying to make sure they're inflated enough. Keep your daily inspections going forward. Brakes, they're gonna make noise because of just the nature of what they are. They're drum brakes, they're noisy, but excessive noise you need to be aware of. Okay? Now, when marking into a brake job, they're gonna stink. Your first day or two, they're gonna smell bad. Because they're wearing in. That's normal. But listen for trouble. Feel. Got a shimmy in that front end. Got a thump in the back. It sounds a little odd. When you're doing your pre-trip, look for those trouble items. All part of your care and maintenance of your bus. Smells. We're going to shoot through this. Engine. Be looking for items. You did a great job on vehicle at speed this year finding the defects in the engine compartments. So that tells me you're used to looking in your engine bays. Okay? Right. Well, we don't actually grade it, but just continue to do that. Note anything that you're going to have any kind of problem with. Your gauges as well. Transmission. I don't expect you, nor does Mark expect you to lay down on the ground at 5:30 in the morning and look at the transmission. Okay? But just listen, because you'll hear a problem way before on a transmission. You'll usually hear a problem or feel a problem before you can see a problem. Okay? Steering, again, shimmy, veers, starts pulling, and that's usually a tire problem or an alignment problem if you have one, or free plane your steering wheel. Electrical, you're going to smell something on the electrical, so let your nose go to work on that. Springs, you start, all of a sudden you hit a hard bump, and then you notice, you know what, this bus is just not driving right, this doesn't feel right. Wouldn't hurt to let them know in the maintenance department. Use of brakes. Many of our buses today have the engine brake equipment on it. That's going to help your brakes a lot. What is it, 18 in that, Mark? 16 have engine brakes. So what the truckers call a Jake brake, okay? When you let up off the accelerator, it uses the engine to slow the bus, so that's gonna help on your brakes.
Leave it
usage.
on.
Huh?
Leave the switch on.
If you leave it on, thank you, no, that's right, there is a switch there, and if you take that off, then you're defeating that engine brake. It is a little aggravating, until you get used to it, because you'll be going down the road and it'll slow you down, so. But control your braking, don't run your engine race it during warm-up time. Try to keep our, idle time down to a minimum in order to reduce fuel usage. Again, suspension, the common sense things. My bus just doesn't feel like it did. You did a great job cleaning your buses and turning them in this year. And, we try to, your enthusiasm is welling up emotion in me that you just did not. Okay. You did great. We're returning them back to you in excellent mechanical condition, okay? And I know it's hard sometimes to keep everything looking this good, but it don't take just a couple of minutes to walk through and pick up paper and pick up a few things. If you do it every day, it makes it a lot easier. I always did it. I'd go pick up the big stuff Monday through Friday, and Friday evening I'd sweep the bus from one end to the other. And just will make a nicer environment. Think about, do you want your child, grandchild, niece, or nephew riding in this bus? Okay? That's pretty easy, Gabe. Do your inspections. We're not gonna go over it. Now, this, if you don't do your pre-trips, we do have one model out back. We'll give you that one. All right, Marshall, if you would. One thing that none of us really like to do, because once we get them to school, we want to go ahead and send them on. We want to get them off the bus. Oh, they want to do one of them evacuations. This is a film from a Madison County school. Go ahead. Can I power this? Madison County Schools, May the 10th, 2017, 15-17. They had just left the middle school, one of the middle schools in Madison County, Kentucky. Okay? So this is, and their school system about the same size as we are. And this driver is going down the road. If you'll notice, when we get this started, you'll see traffic going by her bus. The children alert her that they smell smoke coming from the rear of the bus. This is an international bus. I'm ready. Yeah. This is an international school bus. This camera here, the top left, that is the camera at the back of the bus looking forward. And that's where you will begin to, that little couch kind of thing back there is where that is. Yeah.
Is that a rear engine bus?
It is a rear engine bus. Now, I want us to watch a few things here. Okay, see the traffic still going by? She hasn't secured the bus until, see, she's still driving. They're up, which is okay, I guess, because you're going to be panicked. Now, there's some things, you already see smoke coming out. Look at this upper. There's smoke coming out already. In 53 seconds, they evacuate this bus. I'm not going to be critical of this driver because I've never been in that situation. She did a good job securing her bus. She has her fire extinguisher. She did elect, because by the time they got back there, the fire was too involved to safely engage it. But I've timed it. They're off the bus 53 seconds. She, like all of us, is wanting to get the heck off the bus. What happened so far? She didn't check. Now, there is the bus garage maintenance employee, comes back on the bus, goes through. Was he a cop?
Yeah,
We just went over
Okay.
to Frankfurt.
He goes through and
The
checks.
cop that pulled up, told her to get off the bus. He went and inspected the bus
Right.
while she came back home. He secured the bus.
Still our responsibility to check, because we can't depend on the off-duty police officer being there, okay? So 53 seconds, the bus is cleared, okay? We won't take time to go through all of this, but within 5 minutes, his bus is fully involved. Now, I showed you this because of how important it is to do your evacuations. Yes, it takes us a little time to do it. Yes, I needed to get on so I could go be someplace else this morning instead of doing these evacuation drills.